19-year-old Zuri stood by the small window of their mud brick house, watching the rain hit the dusty ground. Her mother had packed some food in a plastic bag. Her father wore his best shirt, the one with the small tear near the elbow. "We won't be long," her mother smiled. "Just going to register your admission at the university. Our future doctor." Zuri's eyes lit up. "I'll cook yam porridge for when you come back," she said, hugging them tight. Her father squeezed her shoulder. "We're proud of you." That was the last time she saw them alive. The accident happened on Gombe Express Road. A truck ran into their bus. No survivors. When the news came, Zuri screamed. She ran barefoot to the road. She tore her clothes. She rolled in the dirt, begging the sky to take her too. But death had already made its choice. They buried her parents in a shallow grave behind the village school. No one brought flowers. Only dust, sorrow, and whispers. She was their only child. What will happen to her now? Her father's younger brother, Uncle Jatao, came 2 days later with his wife and daughter. He wore a long red caftan and fake crocodile shoes. He looked at Zuri with dry eyes. "You'll come with us." No warmth. No tears. Just orders. Life in Uncle Jatao's house was war. "You will clean this house with your tongue if I say so," his wife Ramatu shouted every morning. "You think because you're fair and pretty the world owes you?" sneered Samira, their daughter. Samira hated Zuri's beauty. Her glowing skin? Her gentle heart. "Stupid orphan! You're nothing, just a house rat!" Samira once screamed, pouring dirty water on Zuri's head. Zuri didn't talk back. She just picked up her soaked clothes and washed them again. She cried silently at night, covering her mouth with her wrapper so no one could hear. One hot afternoon, loud voices rose outside. "Jatao, come out now." It was the village goons. They carried sticks and had scarred faces. "You owe us money." Uncle Jatao ran out, sweat soaking his back. "I beg, give me time." "No more time. You pay today or we take something." They looked around. Their eyes landed on Zuri. That one? Beautiful skin, fine eyes. She'll make good money. "No, not her," Zuri screamed. "Take her," Uncle Jatao shouted, pointing. "She's not my child." Zuri fell to her knees. "Uncle, please, my father was your brother." "Your father is dead," he spat. "And you're eating my food?" One of the men grabbed her arm. She fought. She bit his hand. The man raised his fist to slap her. "Stop." A voice cut through the chaos. They all turned. It was Henry, a poor farmer. Dusty, thin, but with steady eyes. "I will pay," he said. Everyone laughed. "With what? Your rags?" Henry brought out a small leather pouch. Coins, all his savings. "Here, take it, but leave the girl alone." The goons snatched the money. "She's yours now," they joked. Zuri dropped to her knees. Thank you, sir." Her tears soaked the dry sand. Henry nodded. "You don't need to thank me." She followed him in silence, her legs shaking, her hands cold. When she reached home, Uncle Jatao's face twisted. "You again." Zuri tried to explain. "I didn't go with them, someone helped me." "Then go and marry him." "What?" Her voice shook. "You heard me." His voice was like thunder. "You think I'll feed you again? You're a burden." His wife and daughter laughed behind him. "Go and marry the poor boy who saved you." "I don't want to," Zuri cried. Uncle Jatao grabbed her arm. "You don't get to want." He dragged her through the village, straight to Henry's mud hut. "You must marry her," he shouted. "Two never said," Henry began. "If you don't," Jatao sneered, "I'll tell everyone you raped her, or I'll do it myself." Henry's eyes widened. Zuri fell to the floor, crying. "Please, don't do this." Her skin was covered in bruises. Her lips trembled. Her eyes begged. Henry's hands shook. "I will marry her." The news spread fast. Zuri the orphan has married the poorest man in town. From doctor to farm girl, what a fall! Maybe he's not even real. Maybe he's a spirit. The loudest laughter came from Samira. "She thought she was better than us. Now look at her." Zuri heard it all. She said nothing. She wore her old dress and helped Henry on the farm. She cooked. She fetched water. She cleaned. Henry never touched her, never shouted, always brought her food before eating. But every time he entered the room at night, she flinched. So he stopped sleeping in the same bed. She needs time, he whispered to himself. One evening, after the villagers threw garbage at her feet, Henry looked at her. She was sweeping quietly, her back bent, her eyes tired. I have a plan, he said. Zuri looked up. I'm taking you to the city. She stared. Why? Because you deserve better. That night, she packed her small bag. Henry gave her 2 new dresses. She held them close, her heart full. They entered a dusty bus the next morning. As the trees flew past, she whispered, Thank you. Henry smiled. Don't thank me yet. Hours later, they stopped in front of a white mansion. It was huge. 9 stories tall. Cars worth millions parked outside. Soldiers stood at the gate. Zuri's mouth fell open. Is this a palace? She asked. No, Henry said. I work here. As a gardener. Her heart sank a little. But don't worry, I told my boss you can help in the kitchen. She smiled weakly. Okay. She followed him into the mansion. She didn't know her life was about to change again. Forever. Have you ever judged someone too soon, only to realize they were more than they appeared? If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more emotional African folktales. What would you have done if you were Zuri? Tell us in the comments. Zuri had never seen anything like this place. Tall buildings, golden walls, a kitchen so big it looked like a palace on its own. There were cooks, cleaners, drivers, gardeners, even guards in black suits with walkie-talkies. She was nervous at first, but she worked quietly, washing plates and peeling vegetables. She didn't complain. She didn't ask questions. She was just grateful to be safe. But comfort doesn't always mean peace. One afternoon, while Zuri was arranging tomatoes in the kitchen, someone walked in. It was Kika, the madam's only daughter. She looked at Zuri and smiled. Her perfume filled the room. She wore silk robes and gold bangles that jingled like music. Hi, Kika said, running her fingers through her long braids. Good afternoon, Ma, Zuri said, bowing slightly. Don't call me Ma, Kika said softly. Just say Kika. Zuri looked down. Yes, Kika. Kika smiled wider. You're beautiful, Zuri. I like your eyes. Zuri didn't know what to say. She forced a small smile and turned back to the tomatoes. But Kika didn't leave. Instead, she came closer. Too close. Her hand brushed Zuri's arm. You know, you don't have to wear these village clothes, she said. I can buy you something nice, something sexy, like a real woman. Zuri stiffened. I'm fine like this, she whispered. Kika leaned in closer. We can be more than friends, Zuri. I like you. I can give you a new phone, perfumes, even a room in the main house. Zuri's heart pounded. I'm married, she said, stepping back. Kika laughed. So, who will know? It's just between us. Don't you like nice things? Zuri shook her head. I can't. Please. She grabbed the tray and rushed out of the kitchen. That night, Zuri sat on the edge of the bed, her hands shaking. Henry was reading something in the corner. He looked up when he saw her face. What happened? Zuri tried to speak, but the words caught in her throat. Henry dropped the paper. Zuri, talk to me. She looked at him, eyes wide with fear. Kika, she touched me. She said things, offered me gifts. She said we could be together. Henry frowned. What kind of joke is that? It didn't feel like a joke, Zuri whispered. It felt real. He stood and held her shoulders. Are you okay? She nodded slowly. Should I talk to the madam? He asked. Zuri thought for a moment. Then she nodded again. Yes, please. The next day, Henry and Zuri went to the madam's office. Madame Nanena was a tall, elegant woman with sharp eyes and a voice like thunder when angry. What nonsense am I hearing? She asked after Zuri spoke. Ma, I swear. No, Zuri. I believe you. I know my daughter's ways. She's spoiled. But this is too much. She stood and paced. Don't worry, I'll handle her. She won't come near you again. Zuri bowed her head. Thank you, Ma. Madame Nena walked over and lifted Zuri's chin gently. You're a good girl. Stay strong. Days passed. Kika avoided her. No more strange touches. No more gifts. Zuri felt safe again. She returned to her chores. She smiled more. She even laughed sometimes. But peace in the world never lasts too long. One evening, a guest came to the mansion. He was tall, well-dressed, and wore expensive cologne. He introduced himself as Chief Gozi, a businessman from Lagos. He was flashy, loud, always on his phone. Zuri was helping in the dining room when he saw her. Who is that? He asked one of the cooks. Zuri, she's new. He watched her with interest. Later, he found her by the kitchen tap. Hello, fine girl. Zuri turned, surprised. Good evening, sir. He smiled, revealing gold teeth. You're too beautiful to be washing plates. She forced a smile. I like my work, sir. He chuckled. I have a restaurant in Abuja. I'll pay you triple. Come and work for me. No, thank you. He stepped closer. What if I give you this? He pulled out a stack of dollars. 1,000, just to talk to me. Zuri's eyes widened. Her legs trembled. But then she shook her head. I'm married, sir. I can't take this. He frowned. You sure? No one will know. She took a step back. I will. Then she turned and ran. She burst into the room, out of breath. Henry jumped up. Zuri, what happened? She threw the door shut behind her. A man, the guest, Chief Gozi. He offered me money, big money. Henry's eyes narrowed. What for? To leave with him, work in his restaurant, maybe more. And you said no? She looked at him, eyes bright with tears. I ran straight here. He sat down slowly. You refused $1,000? She knelt in front of him and held his hands. You gave me something that money can't buy. He looked at her, confused. You gave me love, a home, peace. I can't throw that away for paper. Henry didn't speak. He just pulled her into a hug. She rested her head on his chest. They stayed like that for a long time. Later that night, as they sat on the small veranda under the stars, he asked, Zuri, what's your dream? She looked at the sky. I wanted to be a doctor. But that dream died. He looked at her gently. And now? She smiled faintly. Now I want to be a lawyer. A lawyer? Yes. To fight for girls like me. Girls who are voiceless. Who get pushed around. Used. Ignored. Henry touched her hand. You'd be a powerful one. She laughed. You think so? I know so. For the first time, Zuri believed it too. If someone gave you money to betray your values, would you take it or walk away with your dignity? Tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful African folktales that speak to your soul. What would you have done if you were Zuri? Title: She thought her dreams died but love gave them life. Chapter 3. The Gift That Changed Everything. Zuri didn't expect much that morning. It was her 20th birthday. No cakes. No candles. Just the usual warm water in a metal bucket and a soft wrapper around her waist. The sun poured gently through the window. The birds chirped outside. It felt like a normal day. Until she saw the gown. It lay carefully on the chair by the door. Soft. Sky blue. Sparkling like morning dew. Next to it was a white envelope. Zuri blinked. She touched the dress, her fingers trembling. It felt like silk. Smooth. New. She looked at the envelope. Her name was written on it. Zuri Ade. She opened it slowly. Then her heart stopped. She gasped loudly. Her breath caught in her throat. University of Abuja Faculty of Law. She read it again and again. She covered her mouth. Tears welled in her eyes. Law school? I got in? She jumped to her feet and ran barefoot across the compound. Henry was in the kitchen, slicing onions and humming. She burst in, holding the envelope. Henry. He turned. His smile grew when he saw her face. "How did you?" she whispered, showing him the letter. He wiped his hands and stepped closer. "I've been saving since the day we met." She stared at him. "All this time?" He nodded. "I saw the fire in your eyes. I knew you didn't belong to suffering. I wanted you to dream again." Zuri's lips trembled. Then she dropped the letter, wrapped her arms around him, and hugged him tightly. "Thank you. Thank you, Henry." He held her carefully. Then, slowly, she pulled back and kissed him. Soft, gentle, real. The first kiss. Their hearts beat together. That night, Henry surprised her again. He took her out. Not to a fancy place, but to a quiet corner in town. A small restaurant lit with fairy lights and soft music. They sat outside under the stars, eating jollof rice and suya. They laughed, talked, held hands. Zuri's eyes sparkled like moonlight. "I feel alive," she said. "You are," he replied. They clinked their soda bottles. To second chances. When they returned home, the air felt warmer. The night felt different. Zuri stepped inside and turned to face him. She took his hand. "I want to love you, the way you deserve." Henry looked into her eyes. "You don't have to do anything." "I want to," she whispered. She pulled him close. No fear. No shame. That night, they made love for the first time. Not rushed. Not rough. It was slow. Emotional. Full of gratitude. Full of healing. Zuri woke up the next morning with the softest smile on her face. The kind of smile she hadn't worn in years. She lay there for a while, watching the sunlight dance on the wall. She stretched her hand to the side. Henry was still asleep, his hand wrapped gently around hers. She touched his cheek. "Thank you," she whispered. She had lost her parents. She had lost her dreams. But somehow, love brought it all back. Stronger. Brighter. She wasn't just a wife. She was now a woman with hope. And a future, but then something strange and dangerous happened. Moral question. When life gives you pain, will you let it break you or will you let love rebuild you? If this story touched your heart, drop a comment and tell us what love means to you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more soul-stirring African folktales. Would you forgive your past if your future looked this beautiful? Zuri had been smiling more these days. She wore her new law school shirt proudly. She helped in the kitchen, laughed with the other workers, and kissed her husband every morning. But one morning, everything changed. She stood in front of the mirror, brushing her hair. Suddenly, her hands trembled. Her head felt light. She tried to sit down, but the floor came faster. Her body dropped like a cut tree. A loud scream echoed through the mansion. "Zuri! Zuri!" the maid shouted. Madame Nina rushed down the stairs in her lace wrapper. "What is it?" She collapsed. The staff gathered, shouting and panicking. Henry came running from the garden, his hands still dirty with soil. "Move!" he barked. He carried Zuri into his arms like a baby. "Someone bring the car." "But which one?" a guard shouted. "The red one, the Lamborghini." Everyone froze. Even the madam blinked. "Are you sure?" "Now!" Henry snapped. They didn't argue again. The Lamborghini roared through the road like a lion chasing prey. The wind slapped Zuri's face through the open window. She was weak, dizzy, floating in and out of sleep. Henry held her hand tightly. "Stay with me, you'll be okay." At the hospital, the nurses stood up at once. "Your Excellency." "Sir, right this way." Zuri's eyes opened a little. "Why are they calling you that?" she whispered. Henry said nothing. The doctors rushed in. Machines beeped. Lights flickered. One doctor touched her belly and smiled. He turned to Henry. "Congratulations, sir! She's pregnant!" Henry exhaled and laughed. The stress melted from his face. Zuri blinked. What did he say? "You're pregnant," Henry said softly. "We're having a baby." Suddenly, loud footsteps stormed into the room. Madame Nina entered with her wrapper flying. My baby is having a baby? I'm going to be a grandmother, she screamed. She twirled like a little girl. Zuri stared at her in confusion. You what? Madame Nena kissed her forehead. My sweet daughter-in-law, I'm so happy. Zuri looked at Henry, wide-eyed. What's going on? Please, talk to me. Henry sat beside her. He held her hand gently. There's something I need to tell you. He took a deep breath. My real name is Henry Okafor. I'm not just a gardener. Zuri blinked. I don't understand. This mansion, it belongs to my family. Zuri's mouth opened. The madam and sir, they're my parents. Her breath caught. Kika, the rude girl, she's my younger sister. Zuri covered her mouth. And Chief Gozi, the man who tried to woo you, he works for me. He's my manager. Zuri shook her head. This is a dream. Henry smiled softly. I'm a tech entrepreneur. I build software. I own companies in Nigeria, Dubai, and London. Zuri stared, frozen. He held her closer. I hid my identity because I was tired. Women only saw my wealth, not my heart. But when I met you, you were different. Zuri's lips trembled. You mean, all this time, you were rich? Yes. And you still married me? A village girl with nothing? You gave me everything, Zuri. You gave me peace, loyalty, real love. Tears fell down her cheeks like rain. He pulled her into his arms. You're going to be a mother, a lawyer, and my queen. She cried into his chest, not from pain, but from joy. The news spread like wildfire. Did you hear? That orphan girl is now married to a billionaire? What? The one that married the farmer? Yes, oh, turns out he owns that big mansion in the city. In the village, mouths hung open, especially in Uncle Jatao's compound. Ramatu fainted when she heard the news. Samira screamed and smashed her phone. She's not better than me, she cried. She just got lucky. But no one listened to her anymore. They only spoke Zuri's name with shame. One morning, a black SUV entered the village. People gathered quickly. Zuri stepped out wearing a white gown, a gold scarf, and low heels. Her belly was round with twins. She smiled like peace itself. Behind her, security men opened boxes filled with medicine and food. I'm building a hospital, she said. In my parents' name. People clapped. Her uncle and aunt came forward, heads bowed low. Zuri, please, forgive us. She looked at them. I forgive you, she said, but I won't forget. Months later, her twin boys were born. She named them Hope and Justice. She went back to school, finished law, opened a foundation for orphans, widows, and abused girls. People flew from other countries just to hear her speak. She stood on stages, wearing ankara and grace. She spoke about pain, about rising from dust, about love that heals. Zuri and Henry still lived in that same mansion. But now, they held hands without shame. They laughed like best friends. They kissed like the world was ending. Their love had passed every test. And now, she was no longer the village girl. She was a billionaire's wife from a poor lady. Moral question. If someone wrote you off because of where you started, would you let it define you or would you rise and prove them wrong? If this story gave you goosebumps, tell us in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful African folktales. What would you do if you woke up and your pain turned to gold?